Yo. So, what division in trucking should you be a part of? This is something that I don't think anyone can really tell you, me included, and I don't know anything about anything. I barely know anything about flatbed, which I've been doing for a year now. I don't know anything about anything. I still learn stuff every single day. So most of this stuff is going to be, what I've heard from other people and what I've seen in, like Facebook groups, YouTube pages. That stuff is a really good place to learn about certain divisions and what they're actually going through to make their living. And the thing about trucking is there's so many little divisions and niches involved in this thing where you could just go and be like, man, you can do all sorts of stuff. Let's name them off here, boys and girls. You can be a van driver, you can be a reefer driver, you can be a flatbed driver, you can be a tanker driver, you can be a dump truck driver, rock hauler, whatever. You could be a car hauler, you could be a truck hauler. I've seen that stuff where people are hauling like multiple trucks behind a truck and they just do, they bring it to dealerships and stuff like that. Oh, what else? I mean, surely there's a lot of other stuff going on. You could be in just a straight up towing division. What else do we got here? I don't know. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but there are so many things that need moving in the United States of America. You could be a grain hauler. That's another one. You could be a log hauler. I mean, this list just goes on forever. Anything that needs to be moved for someone else's business to function, that's where trucks come into play. And depending on how you want, how do we explain this? Depending on how you want your life to be when you're in this truck is what division you choose. And I can speak best on flatbed because that's what I have experience in. I mean, I've never done anything else. This is the only thing that I know about truck driving is flatbed. You got flatbed, step deck, curtain side. You got those covered wagons. You got RGN trailers. You got oversized trailers, and I have yet to get to the RGN oversized trailer, with all the stingers and all that crap they got hanging off of there because they got so much dang weight on their trailer. They got to put that stuff on there. Yeah, I have yet to get to that stuff, but I don't know. Maybe one of these days down the road. And flatbed it's a very physical job. It's not a like you think about driving truck and you think that's the job. Well, my truck has got another job attached to the back of it, which is securement and tarping. And basically you have to monitor all of that stuff while you're doing another job. So I'm basically working two jobs, kind of. I mean, it's not so crazy that it's like you would need two people, but it's, from what I gather, it's probably a little more work than, say, a van or reefer driver situation. And now keep in mind, I have never driven in those divisions. I don't know anything about anything over there. I mean, if they told me to hook up to a van trailer and go pick up a load, I would be like, how do I do that? You know, well, not like hook up to it and go get a load, but like how they keep things situated in their trailer and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen them have like load bars and stuff like that on the back of their trucks, so I'm assuming that has some play in keeping the load situated where it's at. But I mean, I don't carry any of that stuff. I carry straps, chains, bungees, binders, all sorts of stuff like that. So I don't know anything about anything in that sort of a realm. But it does seem like that job as a van or reefer driver is more of a I'm not gonna say an easier route. I don't want to say that, because those guys, like that guy right in front of me there, he's hauling a van trailer, and I know that those guys go through a whole bunch of crazy stuff to get their loads, and sometimes they don't load them right, and they get, you know, weights in the wrong places or too much weight altogether, and then they got to deal with the whole circus all over again. And I mean, there's just so much, you know, bull spit that you got to deal with over on that division, and there's a whole bunch of bull spit you got to deal with in my division, and it's pretty much that way with every division. I mean, that's kind of what you're paid for, is to deal with what's going on with the trailer. Like that's the whole point of this job, is you're supposed to deal with that trailer and get it to where it needs to go safely. As far as, like, I know I was talking, we got van, reefer, flatbed, tanker. We'll go on about tanker. I mean, I've never driven a tanker trailer, but from what I gather, you can be a lot of things as a tanker driver. You can haul like food grade material, like we're talking like milk. I don't know if cheese is a thing like that. I don't know. You could haul like milk. You could haul like water. You could haul, I mean, I've never been in this division, so I don't exactly know the whole intricacies of hauling, you know, like juices, stuff like that. I would imagine that has to be done. I don't know. There's probably a whole bunch of stuff on the food grade side of things. And then you got chemical tanker. You can haul that. And those are the guys that have the, I believe they're white placards on their tanker trailers. And those guys are called, I believe they're called bottle haulers, something like that. Something around there. But I mean, that's pretty much what it looks like. It's a giant cylinder, usually, on the back of their trailer. And I mean, that stuff, chemicals and stuff like that, is something you have to be incredibly careful with, along with hauling fuel, which those are the guys that you see with the cylindrical trailers, and they got red placards, and depending on what that placard, what the number is, depends on what kind of fuel it is. And I don't exactly know anything about placards at all. I mean, I've tried to pay attention a little bit, but I mean, there's so many different numbers and stuff like that you could be doing. And I mean, it's like certain types of fuel. You got diesel fuel. Surely you have like that natural gas stuff, and that's a whole nother side of it. You could be hauling gas materials, not as in like fuel for vehicles, but as in like, I mean, I don't exactly know what all this stuff is used for. Again, I've never been in this division, but I would assume like welding materials. You could be hauling like LP gas. You could be hauling, let's think, what else? What kind of gas? You could be hauling propane. And I mean, all that stuff, one wrong move and you're sliding a bomb into the ditch. And I mean, it seems incredibly dangerous. And I've seen on the back of tanker trailers that they get paid like dang good money. They get paid really, really good when they're hauling hazardous materials like that. And they should be. I mean, they're risking their life every day at work. And I mean, we all are. I mean, don't get it messed up. Even van and reefer drivers, like something could just happen, and that is the end right there. And flatbed too. Flatbed is like that, where if you do the wrong things and you just don't do it correctly, you could end up killing yourself or someone else. And it's like that in every division. You gotta be incredibly careful. But there's so many different divisions, and depending on where you want to end up in this industry, what you want to be doing every day, where you want to be picking up from, where you want to be delivering to, you got to take all that into account. What do you want to be dealing with on the drive there? Do you want to be, like, let's talk cattle haulers. Do you want to be going to a farm and loading up, hogs? You want to be loading up cows? You want to be, I don't know if they do goats or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, like any type of animal, chickens, all sorts of whatever. You want to be going to a farm, picking them up, and going to, I'd assume like a slaughterhouse type situation, which is kind of morbid, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if that's the way you want to make your living, then why not go do it? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, those guys got nice trucks. That's the thing about it. I have never, ever passed a cattle hauler that is driving a Cascadia. Never. I always pass cattle haulers, and they got tricked out Pete's, and they got all the lights, and they are loud as hell, and I mean, their trucks are fantastic. I mean, that's kind of an upside to it. Flatbed is kind of like that too, where you can get into some cool trucks, and I mean, for me personally, it's not really about the truck that I'm driving. I don't really care. I don't know. I don't really care about that, but I do care about, what I'm hauling. And I don't think I could haul a van or a reefer trailer. I'm not sure I'd enjoy that very much, because there's nothing to do, you know what I mean? Like, there's just, I don't know. I mean, flatbed is kind of like a showing off thing. Like, as weird as that sounds, it's like, oh, look at how good of a job I did, and, look at this cool stuff I got on my trailer, dude. Check it out. It's kind of like that. It's pretty cool. But another thing that I would like to get into, and I mean, this is like a maybe thing, is car hauling. I've always thought about that, and I was like, oh man, that'd be pretty cool, because I'm a bit of a gearhead. I like cars. Cars are cool. I mean, you can get into car hauling after like a year or two of experience with whatever. But I mean, it goes from you're hauling like wreck cars, to you're hauling Kias, to you're hauling like Acuras, and then you're hauling fancy Mercedes-Benz, and then eventually one day you're hauling McLarens, and it's like, holy crap. And you see some of those guys with those enclosed trailers where they look like curtain sides, but they're doubles, and they got the one piece sticking out over the top of their truck, and those are car haulers. Those aren't like curtain side trailers, those are car haulers, and they're hauling real deal expensive cars. And you see guys, you know, hauling those like reliable carriers. That's one of those carriers that hauls real deal expensive cars, and that's pretty cool to me. I think I'd enjoy that a fair amount. I don't know, but you know, I mean, a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about, like the specialized stuff, takes seat time to get into. You cannot jump into this game and straight off jump be hauling an RGN trailer. It's not possible to do. You got to go get your 2 years of experience. I mean, more than likely more than that, but you know, it's like you got to go through the rite of passage for half of this stuff. It's not like you can just jump into it. Now, that being said, there are ways to get into stuff like van, reefer, flatbed, tanker. Let's think here. I mean, there's all sorts of ways, and if you really want to get it done, you could probably do some good research and figure out a way to get into a division that you want to get into. But myself thinking about it, I'd probably say that you need experience to do something like that. Like, there's probably a way to just get into it and start doing it. But the thing about the division you're choosing is no one's going to be able to tell you what you're going to like at the end of the day. And here's the real about it, is I might be thinking, you know, I don't think I could ever haul a van or a reefer trailer, but I haven't tried it yet. I don't know. Like, what if I get into you know, some sort of a situation where I had to haul a van trailer or a reefer trailer, and man, I just loved it. The whole way there, I was like, oh man, this is, you know, so nice or whatever. I don't know what the heck I'd say, but you get what I'm saying. Like, even though you think you might not like something, just because you think that doesn't mean that you won't like it, and you can't really tell until you actually try it. So yeah, I mean, with divisions, just keep an open mind. And I mean, it's a good idea to come into this industry with a plan, but just understand that your plan doesn't have to be absolute. Like, you can just be wrong and just say, like, I'm not gonna, you know, let's say you wanted to work your way up the chain and you wanted to go be a car hauler, and you started out wherever the heck they start out. I mean, I figured that they're going to need to secure cars onto the trailer, so that's kind of why I'm in a flatbed division, is because I figured this would be a very good platform to go to wherever I want to go. And plus, I mean, it's hard work, so you're not going to become a fatty very quick. I mean, unless you just figure out a way to be a lazy dude or whatever. But I mean, let's say you want to do that, and you get into doing whatever you're doing, and then eventually you get to the point where you can get into a job like that, and you get there and you're like, oh man, like this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. This is not good. Like, I messed up coming over here, man. This is not good. Well, that's okay. Like, just go pick something else. Like, especially if you've got like 2 years of experience, like any job that's worth anything, you can pretty much get after 2 years. I mean, unless you're talking like some real deal craziness, like oversized loads and stuff like that. I don't really know how that stuff works, but I don't know. I mean, you can just switch to whatever. And here's the thing about it is if you're going to a big company, like let's say Prime. Prime is a really good example. If you're going to Prime, you can do van, reefer, flatbed, and tanker. And I think that's all the divisions that they have them. I have no idea. I've never worked at Prime. And I mean, surely they've got some little division out there that I don't even know about. Just because I've never worked there. You know what I mean? Like, at my company, we've got a dump truck division. Like, what? We're an over-the-road trucking company. Who would have thought that we'd have a dump truck division? But we do. Like, it's there. So that's some of the things about these big companies is, yeah, you're not going to, get paid amazing. You're not going to, you might run into bad dispatchers and all this, but the company is so big that, like, changing divisions, changing dispatchers, if you just don't like the truck that you're in for some reason, I mean, maybe you could work that out. I mean, if you're at a smaller company that specializes in one thing, you're kind of stuck to that company. And if you wanna change divisions, you got to switch companies. So, I mean, that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I don't know. Divisions. I mean, it all just depends on what keeps you happy. What interests you and what, like, holds your attention. That's what it is for me anyways. I don't know about everyone else, but that's how I think about it. Is like, what's going to hold my attention and what am I going to enjoy doing every day? And what's going to pay me the best? I mean, let's be honest about it. But yeah. It's something I certainly couldn't tell you, and probably any other driver couldn't tell you. You got to figure it out for yourself. You need to do a little introspective analyzation. Some two big words for you. Got to do a little bit of that and figure out what you think you're gonna like, and then just start there. Like, it's literally as simple as that. Just look up a couple of companies and be like, hey, did they do that? Oh, they do. Okay, well, let's see, what their situation is like, and, I mean, maybe go get a job over there. I don't know. But yeah. I guess that's all there is to it, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So, I guess I'll get the heck out of here. Be mindful of where you're going in your career and where you want to end up. Make sure you take the proper steps. And if you don't, oh well. I mean, if you're as young as me, you got all the time in the world. If you're not, I mean, you probably still got enough time to switch divisions and get back to, what you actually want to do now. Like, what you would rather be pursuing than what you were pursuing right now. Does that make any sense? It might. But, yep, I'm going to get the heck out of here. So I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye-bye.